Hi, welcome to the studio. Camille here with the Studio Bird Brindle. Glad you can be here. Today we're going to be looking at a tutorial on how to fold this petal fold book that has a little addition that I've designed to create a little pop-up. And this book is a book that I made in celebration of Saint Lucia, and this is a illustration or a design about Saint Lucia's crown of lights. And it just folds all the way down into a little petal fold book. So you can find this book on my Etsy shop, but you can also kind of look at what we're going to do today and make your own alterations, this pop-up structure inside just a general pop-up book, a petal fold book that you make. So to start out, you're going to need a few materials. I like to use a knife. You can use an X-Acto or a pair of scissors. We're going to need something to make score lines, so I like to use this bone folder that has a little bit of a dull tip. Teflon folder is also good for folding, and a ruler to help you cut and make those score lines. You'll also need 2 pieces of cardboard for your covers, and I've gone ahead and covered these, and you can find how to cover book boards in lots of my other videos, so we won't be doing that today. And you're going to need some PVA or some other type of glue, and for some of you that might just be a glue stick, like this Ross stick. I like them. So to begin, we want to get things ready to fold, and to do that we need to score, and scoring just means to go over the lines with something that's dull but makes an impression, and you can see it once you score it. And I've noted all the score lines here with a dashed line, so you can see on the pattern that every dashed line is a line that you need to go over and score, and you're just going to press down and make that score line, and you can see how that is impressed into the paper there, I think. And you want to make all your score lines before you cut anything out. So for each of the candles you'll have 3 score lines, and those are the only thing on the pattern that you have to worry about scoring is the candles. I tried to make this so that it was easy to cut out, so when you cut it out I tried to make as few cuts as you have to make, and you can see how here with the candles I've just made a diagonal, and so you can just cut that like this and continue to cut those diagonals back and forth, and hopefully that saves you a few cuts. And then you want to go back over, and you know, just do it carefully, take your time, put on some good music, enjoy it. So, and then just cut out everything on your pattern. And I've already done that, so you don't have to worry about that. I think the trickiest part about this book is the folding of the candle, so I thought I would just review that more carefully so that you can see what's going to happen. You've scored it vertically along the long edge, and you're just going to fold that, and see how nicely it just folds right up when you score it, and then just press it and then open it back out. You can see that's the begin of your thing. And then we have 2 other score lines here and here, and what we're going to do there is we're going to just use those scored lines, and it's just a continuation of this line here. So if you think about that continuation of that line there and press it, and I'm just going to use my Teflon folder, and there you have it. Then you open it back out. And the last thing to help it to actually fold down is I cut it, and I'm only going to cut it halfway. So I'm not going to cut very deeply, but I'm going to cut just a little nick there, and you'll notice when I open it back out that that just helps it to lay down flat inside. And so there we have it, our little fold. And I'll just do that once again so that you can see that. And there we have the two candles that go on each one of those petal fold pages. So I thought what I would do is just review how to fold these interior petal fold pages. And it's a little tricky because sometimes you want the design on the inside and sometimes you want the design on the outside. And to figure that out, here's the big thing to remember. When you make that diagonal fold, whatever is on the outside becomes the inside. I know, it's like counterintuitive. So what we're going to do is we're also going to think about the orientation of the fold. So we want the fold to always go through vertically through the text so that we can easily read it when we hold that open and up, so we can see that, as you can see there. So to do that, what we want on the inside needs to be on the outside of the diagonal fold. So which way do we do it? Right. This will be on the outside of that first diagonal fold. And then we open it up and then fold it in the opposite direction, both directions. And so here we can see how that petal fold will be opened. Now on the petal fold book, you alternate the pages so that you get that flipping back and forth, and it's the alternating page that we're going to actually put the candles. So we have one that's, I like to call this as the mouth opening to the top, and then when we flip it over we can see that there's actually another one. So I'm alternating the pages. So this one with the mouth opening here, and then we'll go back and forth. I think it's easier once you begin to do this to see this alternating. So for the back, we want the brown part to be on the outside and the green part to be on the inside. So anything that we want to be on the inside, we want it to be on what when we fold the diagonal fold? Right, the outside. I know, this is like brain stuff. And then we'll flip it open and do the both direction fold. And then there we have it with the brown on the outside. So the next part of this book is actually applying these little pop-ups on the sides. And to do that, I'm just going to use a little bit of PVA and a brush. And I like to kind of open it up. You can do it either way. You can try to just insert those by gluing them here. But I find it easier just to open the whole page up and then just apply a little bit of glue in each of these two folded squares, and then I'm just gonna lay in the candles. You want the candle top, the part that opens and closes, to be pointing at the center. There. And then you can collapse that down just gently by your fold lines and bring that all together. And you'll notice that sometimes it's a little harder to fold once you've got that much thickness under there. Oh, and I noticed I've forgotten a little bit. When you first fold that candle, I made the candle tips a little bit longer, and I did that so that you could cut them so that they fit nicely into the book. So just kind of tuck it in and then trim to fit. And I usually do that when I first fold the candle, not when it's all the way in the page like that, but you can do what you'd like. So now we're ready to complete the book and put the rest of the book together. And as in all of my directions, I say, hey, lay it out right side up so you know what's coming and you know what you want to add. And so I want to add this to this book, and the last page to this book. And I want to make sure, see there it is upside down, I want to make sure that it's right side up so that it all comes and glues together nicely. So let's just add these few. And I was talking about alternating. We're going to have to alternate here. So I've talked about that mouth being open, and this one we're going to glue it where the mouth is, this is mouth pointing this direction. This mouth is going to point this direction. We're going to alternate them back and forth. And that's how it opens nicely. Same thing for the last one. The mouth here is pointing that direction, and this mouth here is going to point that direction. And now all we have left is just to case it in. And to do that, I'm just going to put a little glue on the surface here. And with this book, you want to make sure that the corners of the candles here are actually inside the book. So I'm just going to tip it over here and center it the way I want it. You can see that I've included those inside, not hanging out where they'll get knocked around and beat up. And then we'll add the top. And this book is kind of energetic. It pops. And so I've created a belly band, and a belly band is just a sheet of paper that you can use to keep a book closed. And the belly band is a little long, and I did that intentionally. So what you'll need to do is just fold it around. I like that. It's some of the cool lichen around my yard. And then you just want to trim it to fit, and I like to just trim it down. And I really like this lichen part over here, so I'm going to just put that on the top. And you want to make sure that it's loose enough to get it back off. You need to be able to slip this on and off. So don't make it so hard, so tight, that it doesn't slip on and off. So there you have it. A St. Lucia book to celebrate light in the winter. And if you want to see this pattern or any other patterns, you can check out my shop in the description. And I hope that you have a chance to do something creative this week. From Brindy, a very quiet studio bird, and Camille, thanks for watching.